morning.
How are you doing?
Good. So
Good.
everyone, this is Justin Hoffman, and he's the engineering manager at Yuba Water Agency. And we are working together as a team to fill two hydro engineering roles. And so, Justin, why don't we start off and just tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and how long you've been with Yuba Water Agency.
Yep, sounds good. So I have a degree in electrical engineering. Uh, Grew up in California and got a degree, went over to Mississippi and started my career with Pratt & Whitney Rocketdyne. And so over there, we tested rocket engines for NASA. We're under contract with them. Always wanted to get back into power generation, and so was looking for an opportunity to come back to the West Coast and get into the power generation field. And so I jumped ship from Pratt & Whitney over to Calpine Corporation. Calpine Corporation is a nationwide independent power producer. And down in South Yuba City, there was 5 gas-fired power plants that we had. And so spent 5 years down there. During that time, kind of toward the end of that, I saw kind of some effort that was being made over at Yuba Water Agency to staff up. And so that kind of caught the attention of, the networked group of power generation employees in the area. And so that was around 2016. Unknown to me at the time, Yuba Water Agency was prepping to separate from an ending power purchase agreement with PG&E. And so they were staffing up their operations for 24/7 operations. And so we saw that effort that was being taken place. They were doing a very good effort in the recruitment, and they were selecting the right employees from the region. And so I wanted to be a part of that. And so that's when we, around 2016, several of us started coming over to the agency.
And at that time, there was only was there only one engineer with Yuba Water?
Yeah, exactly. So there was a chief dam safety engineer at that time. I was hired on as the engineering manager at that time, and then one other engineer was hired at the same day as me, basically. And so there were 3 of us at the time. Today, there's 6 of us, and we're looking with these 2 recruitments staff up to 8, not including myself.
So you've really grown and created this team since you've been there since 2016.
That's correct.
Now tell us a little bit about Yuba Water Agency and their system, and their history.
Yeah, so Yuba Water Agency was created in 1959. That was in response to a 1955 Marysville flood. So there was a big effort by the state up on the north of us on the Feather River, and then south of us, we had the feds on the American River side. There was no really effort on the Yuba River. And so that's when the citizens of Yuba County kind of created Yuba Water Agency. So the mission of the agency is basically for sustained management of our water resources and flood risk reduction, and then also reliable water supply. And that is enabled through our power generation and revenue cells in environmental and quality of life for our community. So that's when we kind of turned over in 2016 from the power purchase agreement ended with PG&E at that time. And so PG&E helped manage a lot of the assets and resources and also the responsibility of all that stuff. And then in 2016, that separation basically put all that in the hands of Yuba Water Agency. And so from that point forward, all the responsibility of the assets, the expenses, as well as the revenue generated from the power cells is now, ours. And then we put it back in the community as we can through the Agency Act.
Yes, that must have been like a really exciting, that was probably one of your main motivators because, it doesn't happen that often. Now, in regard to the 2 positions that we are going to be recruiting on, one is on the electrical, a hydroelectrical engineer, it can be staff or senior, and then the other is a hydro engineer, and it has a project management facet to us. So can you tell us about each of those roles and what you're looking for?
Yeah, and I'll step back a little bit. The agency has 5 distinct kind of divisions throughout it. And then the engineering department reports up to the power systems division. So within the power systems division, there's approximately 40 employees. 6 of those are currently the engineering department. And to go back a little bit on the last question is the agency or the power systems division has 4 powerhouses, 4 dams. We're regulated by Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. So most of the 3 of the dams and all the powerhouses, and then we have a DSOD regulated dam as well. So what's interesting about power systems is we have all the recreation associated with that, plus the power generation. So it's a very diverse workload that we see up here. And then back to your other question, what was that? Your last question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, in regards to the 2 positions we're recruiting on, one is focused on the hydroelectrical, and then one is more project management focused. So tell us a little bit about each role.
Yeah, and so the engineering department is broken up into a couple of different pockets. So we have dam safety is kind of one pocket. We have 2 employees that take on that responsibility. We have another pocket that's rotating machinery. And so that is focused on plant related rotating assets. And then we also have another pocket for project management. And so going back to the rotating machinery, we have 2 engineers in that pocket. We have a mechanical engineer and an electrical engineer. And so this one that we're recruiting for, the electrical engineer, would work hand in hand with the mechanical engineer on all things rotating machinery. So our goal kind of as the engineering department is to first and foremost support operations and maintenance of the powerhouses. And so that's what that kind of the key responsibility of the electrical engineer would be. And then on the hydro engineer that's focused more on project management, the engineering department has the responsibility of non-routine projects, which are about $50,000 and above, and then also capital improvement projects. And so this fiscal year, we're running approximately 100 projects. Most of those are the responsibility of the engineering department at a $60 million budget. And so the focus of this hydro engineer would be any discipline focused on project management. And really it's, we don't expect them to be subject matter experts in all the disciplines to run a project. It's not that at all. It's more of a generalist position that sees the project from start to finish and then relies on the needed resources and subject matter experts to meet the objectives of the project.
And I know that you have a couple of really key capital improvement projects going on. It's, very exciting. They're larger than typical. Can you go into the projects that this person would be working on?
Yeah, and so we have 2 projects that are kind of, one's going into construction, one is in construction. The one that's in construction is a power systems headquarters. Right now, power systems all resides down here at Colgate Powerhouse. We've kind of outgrown that footprint, and so we've decided to move up to Organ House area. And so we're building a facility up there. It's approximately $30 million facility that's currently under construction with a estimated completion date of 2025. So all of us will be moving up there around that time frame. Another large project that is currently out to bid is a Colgate tunnel outage. So we have a tunnel that runs roughly from New Bullards Bar Dam down to Colgate Powerhouse, supplies water for the powerhouse. That facility or the tunnel will be taken out for approximately a 4-month window, starting in late 25 and through early 26. And that's approximately $70 million project. So both those projects are important to us. Each one have unique attributes. One really isn't on a time frame. The other is very much on a time frame because we're in an outage at Colgate. Colgate being one of the main revenue streams of the agency. And so it's important for us to execute that promptly and within the timeframes of it.
And that project is slated to end or expected to be completed when?
Early 26.
Okay. Now, as far as we've talked about it before, but you've essentially, built the team to where it is today since 2016. And I know culture is very important. Tell candidates why it's a good time to work for Yuba Water Agency as opposed to some other agency? And, why do you like to work there?
Yeah, and so we have within the engineering department specifically, we have, and everywhere else obviously, but with specifically speaking, the engineering department, we have an amazing group, an amazing team, and so it's a collaborative effort on everything that we do. One thing that I seek out for in engineers is obviously technical competence and analytical, but then the ability to apply those resources and the analytical to your hands. And so we have a strong background in the analytical. We take that down to whatever problem we're trying to solve and can apply that with our hands, work with the operators and maintenance team to solve a problem, and then bring it back and take the necessary action to continue to solve that. And so that's kind of what I pride the engineering department on, is all of us have that ability, and that's very unique in the engineering field.
And it seems like it's a very collaborative group where you hire top talent, you let them do what they're good at, but you also give them the resources they need. And everyone works together, as a
Yeah,
well-oiled machine.
yeah, and that's one thing I strive to do as a manager, is basically provide the necessary tools to empower and foster an environment where employees have that feel, free to come up with kind of off nominal solutions to solve challenging problems.
Well, thank you so much, Justin. I think that is all we need, but we look forward to having successful recruitments. But thank you so much for your time, and we hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too, thank you, and look forward to it.
Thanks.